In today's video, we make over this beautiful but definitely worn little accent table. Today's video also includes a product review, and the item was sent to me by Vevor. Now let's get into that flip. This cute little table was brought to me by a client who wanted me to fix it up for her office. It has beautiful detail, but it definitely has a lot of wear and tear, so I'm going to give it a whole new look. I start this flip off like I do most of them by removing the hardware and then giving the piece a thorough cleaning. This little beauty has definitely seen some wear and tear, so I want to clean off all that dirt and grime to give my paint and primer the best chance to adhere. After cleaning, I always come back with a damp lint-free cloth to give it a rinse and remove any cleaning residue away. Next up, this old finish has to go. You can see that it's flaking and peeling, so I thought the best way to remove it is to use my carbide scraper. Typically, I use two hands on my scraper, but this finish came off so easy I was able to do it one-handed. Plus, the table was super wobbly, so I had to use the other hand to hold it. Now, there are a few spots on the top that look like it may be some kind of oil-based spill, so I'm spraying a vinegar mixture. It's vinegar and water, letting that soak in and scrubbing it with some steel wool. Vinegar is a fantastic cleaner, especially for those oil-based products. Now, to make sure I have all the oil out, I put a layer of baking soda down and let that set overnight. What the baking soda does is absorb that oil moisture and draws it up out of the wood, so whenever I go to add my paint and top coats, I don't have oil bleeding into my paint finish. The next morning, I just used my shop vacuum to suck up all that baking soda. Now that the failing finish is gone and the oil spill is gone, it's time to scuff this up to prepare it for paint and primer. I ordered these flexible sanding pads off Amazon, and I absolutely love them. They are foam, they are washable and reusable, and I like the foam because they can go into all the curves and details of pieces like this. So you don't have to have the fancy sander like you see me use in a lot of my videos. You can always do your sanding by hand. After sanding, I always knock the dust away, the big dust that's loose, with my feather duster, and then I come back with a damp lint-free cloth and wipe away the remaining sanding dust. My client wants this piece painted, so I always tape across the top of the drawers and the sides to protect it from getting any paint overspray. Now, when you're working with any mahogany or cherry wood pieces, this clear shellac is your best primer to use to stop those wood tannins from bleeding into your new paint job. I sprayed 2 coats of the clear shellac and let that set overnight. I got a new paint setup for my workshop, so let's get into my product review. This is the current state of my air hose for spraying paint. You can see that it's been dragging on the ground and is just caked with paint, but I don't have to worry about that anymore. Vevor was so kind to send me this retractable air hose reel to try out. This kit comes with the air hose reel, the wall mount or ceiling mount, and it also comes with a 5-foot extension hose to connect it to your air compressor. And the hose already has the plumber's tape on it. I spray my furniture pieces inside of a 1-car garage, so 50 feet of air hose is plenty of length. The air hose reel is pretty heavy, so I definitely want to mount this into a stud out in my workshop. You can see some holes to the left where I thought I had a stud, but I didn't, so just ignore those 2 holes to the left. Installation is pretty easy. I drilled 2 holes to fit the mounting plate and then drilled 2 giant bolts into the stud to hold that mounting plate. Now, to make it easier for yourself, you want to attach the air hose reel to the mounting plate before you attach it completely to the wall. I did a little bit backwards though. I got that mounting plate nice and steady and then got a step ladder and put the air hose reel on. But I was able to get it, but make it easier on yourself. Attach the air hose reel to the mounting plate first and then set it up on the wall. The amount of times that I drop the screws and nuts on this part is ridiculous, but I finally was able to get it. I mounted the reel actually in my spray booth, so I had to move my air compressor over to that area. But that's nice because I don't have my air hose stretching all the way across my workshop right now. Everything is located right there in my spray area. The next step for installation is to attach the extension hose actually to your air compressor. This is a nozzle that I got from my old hose, so that is something that you will have to provide yourself. The last step before use is to attach my quick connect for my nozzle so I can easily attach my spray gun. Now this end did not have the thread sealant, or the plumber's tape is what I call it, so I did have to use some of that in my workshop, but I just tighten it with the 2 wrenches and then it is ready to start using. Yay! I'm really excited about having this in my workshop now. Now the reel does swivel left and right, but it's simple, easy to use. You just pull the hose out and you can hear it clicking as you retract and pull the hose out and take it back in. And that keeps it off the floor and out of my way, super clean, and my hose won't end up looking like my old one, thank goodness. All right, let's get to using this. To spray my paint today, I am using the Inokraft D1 drizzle gun. I didn't show what paint I had because she just said that she wanted it white, wasn't very specific what shade of white that she wanted. So I had a couple of whites in my workshop that weren't enough to paint one individual piece, so I just combined them together. They are bare chalk paint colors. But you can see how I spray the gun in, I have the gun in one hand to spray, and then I use the other hand to help hold the hose out of the way from touching my wet piece of furniture. After the first coat, I just detached my gun and let the air hose reel do its thing. After the first coat of paint was dry, I did come back and add a second coat of paint. So the Inokraft gun is my new spray gun, and then I have this new air hose reel by Vevor. I just am loving this setup, how quick and easy my furniture flips are now. I will have product links for items used in this video down below in the description, but let's just take a few moments and watch how easy it is to spray your paint for your furniture pieces. All the inspiration photos that my clients sent me were distressed pieces of furniture, so I use 120 grit and go along the edges and details, just revealing that mahogany wood back through the white paint. I didn't get too carried away with my distressing, just a little bit here and there to help highlight all that beautiful detail. After all that sanding, I knock the dust away, and when I'm distressing a piece of furniture, I like to take a step back and walk around and just make sure that I did distress evenly throughout the piece. And if I need to, I add a little bit of distressing here and there to make it more even. And then I come back with a 400 grit sanding sponge and go over the entire piece to make sure that chalk paint is smooth like butter. For top coat, I am using a water-based polyurethane by Behr, and I love the satin finish. I love spraying my top coat because I get a flawless finish, especially using this Inokraft gun. I had a client once tell me that my finish was so flawless that it looked like it was baked on. I just love getting compliments like that on my work. The last little step is to address these two little tiny drawer knobs. They just need a little bit of freshening up, so I use some Dixie Belle's gilding wax in the color bronze. And then this flip is done. Here's a quick reminder of our before, and then what it looks like now. This little table was sweet and darling to begin with, but I think doing the white paint with the distressed look just really brought out how beautiful that detail really is. My client absolutely loved how this piece turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this flip. This is my last video of 2023. I will be back next year with some more content.